Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Slow Burn Professional Wrestling Podcast, where all pro wrestling storylines live. I am your host, Matt Brannon, and may I say, what the fuck, right? I'm just going to get it out there right now. Let's just go ahead and say it. What in the hell is going on? Guys, thanks for joining us here on a Friday. We got a lot to talk about. I am going to spend a little bit of time rehashing AEW Dynamite from Wednesday night. If you watched it, I'm actually really curious to see what other people's opinions are. Post something, shoot me a message on the old Facebook machine, and let me know what's going on there, okay? Because it was not good. It was not good. All right. I just didn't. I don't know. I struggled with this one. You can see. I mean, I'm frustrated over this because I want to be very clear. I like AEW. I enjoy it. And I'll rehash some of this here in just a minute, but we deserve better. Wrestling fans deserve better, and that's how I feel. And we got better. We got better last night. The first live TNA Impact episode in 8 years. Now, I will say there were some technical difficulties. It wasn't as clean as maybe it could have been. It definitely wasn't a WWE broadcast, but my God, it was good. And the wrestling was good. The stories were good. I really think that we got a good night last night. Now, also, let's not forget, big night tonight. We have SmackDown coming up. I think tonight's show is going to be special. I think it could be interesting. I don't think there's going to be a ton of like super invigorating stories that we're going to get here, but I do think we're going to get some really, really good matches. And this is why, because tomorrow night we got Saturday night's main event, right? And Saturday night's main event, issue number 2 in this new reiteration of the old Saturday night's main event. And I am excited for this one. Matter of fact, you guys know how excited I was to begin with. I started the slow burn right around the time Saturday night's main event was coming. It's one of my reasons for this, the nostalgia of it all. Well, I'm more excited for tomorrow's Saturday night's main event than I think I was the first one. And I'll get to that here in a little bit. I'm really excited to see where some of these stories are going to go. There's some really good stuff, and on top of that, I have a feeling that we're going to get some very, very exciting action. So we're going to get to SmackDown. I'll preview it a little bit. There's not a lot of matches that are on the card yet, so there's very little to go over with as far as tonight's SmackDown. I'm going to wait on Saturday night's main event and talk about that tomorrow. We're going to do a Saturday short tomorrow, and tomorrow's Saturday short will be pretty much a very quick rundown of SmackDown because I don't think there'll be a lot of stuff to link to Saturday night's main event. And then obviously we'll roll in to our Saturday night's main event. I'm going to try. Hopefully we have a guest host tomorrow. We're working on that. We're going to get that going. I'd like to get some other people's opinions too. So again, reach out on the Facebook machine. Shoot me an email. That's SlowBurnWrestlingPod@yahoo.com. Facebook Messenger, Instagram. We're on the X. We're on everything, guys. I started a TikTok page, but I haven't done one yet. But I started one. If there's a young person out there that wants to take over the Slow Burns TikTok, let me know. All right, let me know. I'll give you full reins to it within reason. So, man, that was a hell of an opening, right? I felt like I was a little more passionate there than what I maybe should have been. But I want to explain something. All right. I was very clear before. I've been a wrestling fan since I was 5 years old. I love it. You know, I am way, way, way into this thing. 40 plus years, 4 decades of watching professional wrestling. I love it. I have seen it through all of the different evolutions that it's went through. And I will tell you, as a person and a wrestling fan, there was a time about 5 years ago where I had had enough. WWE had gotten stale for me. I didn't like the direction things were going. I didn't like the nonsense that Vince McMahon was producing. It just wasn't as good of a product. I took a hiatus. I took some time off, and I needed to. And honestly, it really recharged my batteries for professional wrestling. But it happened because of one thing, and I'm going to be very honest with you. It was AEW. All right. I happened to be scrolling the channels one night. I'm watching, I don't even remember, I think I was watching an NBA game on TNT or TBS, one of those, and I see the commercial for this AEW Dynamite. And then I'm looking at some of the wrestlers on the commercial. I know these guys. That's Bryan Danielson. That's Cody Rhodes. You know, like, okay, it piqued my interest, right? It piqued my interest. And with the fact that I had also followed some of the Japanese stuff as a kid, and I knew a lot of these guys, like, I'm seeing this link to professional wrestling through AEW, and it opened my eyes up again. It really did. I started really jumping back into wrestling because of AEW. It was simple. I loved it. The wrestling was so good. The stories were good. The athletes were good. I mean, it was quality. I'm not saying that it's not quality now, but it has taken a freaking hit. And it's taken a hit because of one thing, and it's stories. It's stories. Okay? Last night, let's just get to it. Let's just hold on. So I digress. I went back into AEW. I dove back into wrestling full fledged. AEW gets me back into NXT. Actually, that was link number one back into the WWE universe. And then the next thing you know, I realized, holy shit, this stuff is better than it's been in a very long time. I took that little hiatus, had some time off, and then here we are. Now I want to say I never quit paying attention. I read. I stayed up to date on the stuff, but I wasn't watching religiously like I do now, and or like I always have. It's destination television in the Brandon household. We know that. I mean, obviously, I'm sure you guys wonder how I get away with it. I'm lucky my wife loves wrestling, but at the same time, you have to understand that AEW started that for us. That started getting us back going into that. And I will say that my son, Rhino, one of our guest hosts, hopefully we'll have him tomorrow, he got me back into it because he never laid off of WWE. All right. So that was something that was very important. Now, with that said, let's get into the nuts and bolts of Dynamite. I have a feeling we're going to have to rush through some stuff here, but I want to focus on the opening segment. Okay, if you did not see it, the opening segment was pretty simple. Will Ospreay comes down. He wants to call out Kenny Omega to talk about them having a partnership. Well, if you don't know the history of them, they have been bitter rivals. They were kind of mentor mentee, and then bitter rivals. And then not long ago, Will Ospreay stuck a screwdriver in Kenny Omega's head in the name of Don Callis, and blah blah blah. Well, now we see the common enemy. But the problem is you have Kenny Omega. He comes out, and Will Ospreay just said, bruv, we've got to get this done, bruv. And they got to team up. And he was very clear about that. And Omega, I love this. Up to this point, I am on board. Up to this point, I am gun-ho for this piece. And Kenny Omega says, how can I trust you? You put a screwdriver in my head. You were Don Callis's boy, and he's the freaking scum of the earth. Like, how can we do? I can't trust you. Nah. But I tell you what, here in a couple weeks, maybe I kick your ass, and that's kind of how that was going to go down. Well, all right, fine. Kenny Omega's walking out. Okay, he's walking out. It's over. Story's over, right? This is where you create the build. Okay. And again, we are the slow burn. I love the slow, long, drawn out storylines. Bring me in. Motion pictures, baby. And that's what I want. Well, last night, we really got, I'll give it a good sign. Let's say that was 1 month worth of stories. 1 month worth of stories we got right there in 8 minutes. Really? So all of a sudden, I don't trust you. You're a piece of trash. I can't trust you. I want to fight you. You're friends with my enemy. And oh, by the way, you just got beat up. So now we're best friends. That did not work for me. I don't know. And again, I'm upset with it because of the fact that I love AEW. I do. I think it's such a good alternative. I've been very clear about the alternative aspect. And guys, the wrestling is so good. But I watch wrestling for more than just 5-star matches. All right. I don't need a 5-star match every single time. Matter of fact, the best match on this card for Dynamite, the best match on this card was actually the AR Fox versus Swerve match, and it didn't last very long. But they got a lot in. They told stories, and there was background there. They ended the Lucha Underground stuff. Like, that was quality storytelling. You don't have to have everything be a banger. And that one, it was just like, oh my gosh. Now, the spots were good. The climbing of the scaffolding, and they did mistime their jumps. But I mean, the spots were good. The spots were high. That's fine. But here we go. I'm going to kick your ass. This is us. Now we're teammates, and now we're going to go at each other. But by the way, we'll do it in like 3 weeks. Well, hell, now you just lost your build. Like, literally, you didn't have to give me that date. You didn't have to tell me that you were going to that this match was going to be at Grand Slam in Australia. You needed to tell me that you were going to kick their ass and that it was coming. And then the next couple weeks, as we get to Australia, we develop that storyline. Can Omega trust Ospreay? Can Ospreay trust Omega? Can Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher get along and coexist in the Don Callis family? Why the hell is Lance Archer so big and gets his ass kicked every time? Like stuff like that has to matter, and it didn't matter. And I don't know. I feel like we deserve better. And AEW stories were getting really, I don't want to say great. They were getting better towards that end of Bryan Danielson's championship run. And I know Bryan was helping with creative apparently at the time. But guys, since then, it has really taken a downfall. And again, I love the matches. I love what they're doing with it. But that opening segment was not good. I need more. So here, what are we going to get out of it? We know we're getting a match at Grand Slam. We're getting Ospreay and Omega, the two greatest showmen in the world today, against Kyle Fletcher, who is like going to be them in the next year. And Takeshita is the hottest Japanese wrestler in the world right now. But we know it's happening. How are we getting there? Well, here's an idea. Let's do the Tony Khan normal thing. Let's freaking pull names out of a hat and have a 14-man tag match. And that's how we shape up our stories. That is not how we do it. All right. Now, I am going to be optimistic. I know that I am not the only person that has thought this week. The dirt sheets have been all over it, except Dave Meltzer, obviously. Then you got the other people, the other columnists, your other podcasters, all of these people. They're getting some really bad run right here, and rightfully so. So I'm going to stay optimistic and think that things get better. Will it? I don't know. We shall see. But I know we need to move on. Dynamite, overall, I'll go ahead and tell you guys, I graded Dynamite as a D. That I think is my lowest grade that I have given a show so far since we've started the slow burn grading system, which I need to work something out. We're going to get a better grading system rather than just me throwing out letters. I got to get a placard or something and show you guys how we're doing this and let you guys have a part of it as well. Let's see. What else did we get? Tag team championship match. I called that. I don't even want to fucking talk about it. Private Party, I didn't care for them as champs anyway, but now we've given it to Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. Who's going to beat them? I'm asking you. Who's going to beat them? They've been brought up to be this untouchable monster, and I don't see a tag team right now because of the way they've made them untouchable. I don't see a tag team that can play with them. FTR maybe because of cohesiveness. I don't know. Young Bucks are going to come back. We know that's going to happen. Are they coming back as heels or are they coming back as babies? I don't know. I just don't know where they can go with that. This makes zero sense to me. But again, what do you do? We can sit here and we can complain about it, or we can sit back and watch it. I am not going to stop watching. Okay, I am going to keep giving this a chance until I keep giving this a chance until I stop giving this a chance. It's probably not going to happen because of how much I like wrestling. Hell, guys, I watch Canadian wrestling and in daytime and for boredom. Okay, so I'm probably going to stick with it, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to bitch about it. All right. I talked about Swerve, talked about AR Fox. That was great. Nice to see Lucha Underground getting after it again. Had a piece with Ricochet backstage and his golden scissors. We'll see where they go with that. I'm still okay with it because it involves Swerve. So anything that's going to involve Swerve, I'm going to stick with. We'll see. Hangman Page has a squash match. Little interesting interaction between Hangman Page and MJF. Okay. First off, right now, MJF apparently is going to fight Jeff Jarrett, which, by the way, next week we got Jeff Jarrett, Jeff Jarrett versus Claudio next week for the right to get to John Moxley. Claudio said, nobody gets to John without going through me. That was probably the best Claudio Castagnoli impersonation I'll ever hear. But it was there. It's going to happen. I don't know, but I like the idea of getting MJF away from the double J thing. J-E-double-F, J-A-double-R-E-double-T. We got to get him away from that and get him back in with the main guy because I thought about this. I ran MJF down a little bit the other day. He deserves better. This is not his fault. MJF, a year and a half ago, was the biggest star in all of wrestling. Okay? He really was. He really was. There was Cody Rhodes, there was Roman Reigns, and there was MJF. Like, it was right there. And I don't care if you're an AEW guy or not. Facts are facts. Well, that's not there anymore. Matter of fact, he's not even the most popular guy. He's not even the hottest guy in his company. So we'll see where they go with that. But there's some improvements that need to make now. Hangman Page is the guy that can make that happen. I also want to say the Christopher Daniels piece with Hangman Page was good because that was a really decent opportunity for Hangman to flip this ultra violent, I'm mad at the world cowboy thing that he's got going right now. So that I'm okay with that. I'm actually okay with that. Now, here's the thing though. Do I trust that the story builds? I don't know. We'll have to just kind of go with it and see what happens. We got a main event, Adam Copeland. Cope is a dope. Jericho's awesome. But we had Adam Copeland versus, who did he? Oh, Pac. I couldn't even think Pac. It was another Death Rider jump fest, and that's what we got. Here's an idea. Can we not do that in the next show? I don't know. The same. Let's try something different. Let's just try a little something different. How about the next show, we don't end it with the Death Riders beating the hell out of everyone else? Let's maybe do it at the beginning. I don't know. The other thing I want to say is I've been behind Moxley in some of these crazy encrypted promos that he's been doing, and I'm good with it. The Ultimate Warrior-esque promos that he's been doing. But yeah, it's time to go somewhere. It's time to go somewhere. And again, this has been a slow burn, but it's been a slow burn that's been like a roller coaster ride. And there's just, I don't know which way we're going here. We shall see. But regardless, here's the deal. When it comes to Dynamite, when it comes to AEW right now, I'm a little bit bored. I'm a little bit bored. The matches are great. In-ring stuff is great. We're developing some people, not developing all. I love what they're doing with Hobbs right now. I think Hobbs is getting some decent character work. By the way, Hobbs versus Big Bill. That's coming up. Ooh, that's going to be freaking awesome. Super excited for that. So, I don't know. They just need to spice things up here, okay? And again, I don't want to come across as me being this guy. I hate AEW because I don't. I love it. But I'm also a straight shooter, and I'm going to tell you what it is. And right now, AEW was not good. This was a bad show, okay? That brings me to a good show. All right, AEW, take some fucking lessons, right? TNA, now that's a show. That's a show. So fun. God, it was fun, man. They had such a good time. The show is put together well. It's well written. The interactions were good. There were some technical flubs. I get that. But the show overall, the way it ran was smooth. It was like a different whole, it was like WWE was there, which I'll be damned. But, like overall, it was so good. They start off. Joe Hendry comes down, says his piece, and he's very, very clear that he wants to be a fighting champion. I love that. TNA has to have a fighting champion, by the way. It's a need for that company. So Joe Hendry is basically saying, "I'll take on all comers. I got it." Well, enter Santino Marella. He comes out, and we have our first all comer, and he is always ready. That's right, Deathmatch King Matt Cardona, aka formerly known as Zack Ryder. Woo, woo, woo. By the way, if you don't deal with Matt Cardona at all on social media, do yourself a favor and start following him on everything. He is amazing. He runs auctions and stuff on some sites and gives away ring gear. He's the guy is freaking awesome. And as far as like an independent wrestler, you want to see how high level independent wrestlers run their shit. Check out Matt Cardona. By the way, nice to see him in TNA. I would love to see Matt Cardona get more work. We saw him in AEW not long ago. Last weekend he wrestled in Ring of Honor at the Hammerstein Ballroom against, I think he wrestled Effie. I'm not sure, but no, I believe it was Manders, the man called Manders. But anyway, we'll get back to that. Actually, we won't. What the fuck did I say that for? So anyway, TNA. Hendry's down. It's challenged by Matt Cardona. It's going to be our main event. It was a hell of a match. I'll get to that. A few other things, though, that happened that I really want to draw attention to. Number one, Moose. All right? Fucking Moose is awesome. I told my wife this the other night. I will take Moose over Bobby Lashley any day of the week. All right, 7 days a week, twice on Sundays. I will take Moose over Bobby Lashley. His mic work is better. His in-ring work is better. He might not be the legit badass that Bobby Lashley is as far as MMA crap or whatever, but I guarantee you he looks the part just as well. And he gets better every time in the ring. And last night, he showed that with a masterful performance. Tag match, he teamed up with JDC, Johnny Dango Curtis, aka Fandango, right? Back in the old days. That's when WWE started sucking a little, maybe. But he's awesome. But JDC and Moose taking on the Hardys. Guys, this was fucking tag team gold. This was such a good match. This is the match of the week so far. It was excellent. Like, perfect transitions, excellent hot tags. We had down times, we had comebacks, we had a little bit of everything. We had some interference. That match, if you want to see good quality bell to bell tag team action, watch that system with Moose and JDC versus the Hardys last night. Hardys, by the way, come victorious. And I want to be someone to say this. And I know I've actually had a couple online conversations with him, but I want to be very clear about something. Jeff Hardy, God, I mean, thank you. Thank you. You looked great, man. You look so good. I feel like the clock has went back 10 years right now. Matt, you look good too, but I'm sorry. Jeff Hardy right now looks like a absolute banger. Like, he looks like one of the best wrestlers in the world. And he showed it. And last night, Moose helped him, having that big body going up against him. My God, it was such a good match. And Matt Hardy has been through hell. And, I'm a second chance guy to a certain extent. To a certain extent, I am. And I want to say this guy's been given chance after chance after chance. And I know a lot of people out there would say, somebody like that abuses and he's done all this wrong stuff and he doesn't deserve this and that and that. Well, you know what? This guy's doing it and he's doing it right and he's totally rebounded his life. Let's hope he can keep that up. And I don't know if anybody in here has any connection with Matt Hardy whatsoever, but I want to say Jeff Hardy rather. Jeff, thank you for what you're doing. You look wonderful. I'm so happy. I feel you. I feel you. In my heart, I feel you. So awesome job. And goddamn, what a good match. Even made me say the GD, and I don't say GD. So there you go. What else did we have? Tag match was great. Please rewatch it. By the way, the tag match that they had between Fraxium, Nathan Frazier and Axiom from NXT, defending their titles against the Rascals. All right, straight from the treehouse. If you want to see a tag match with energy, turn that one on. I'm telling you, last night, those two tag matches, Hardys and System, and then Rascals versus Fraxium, those are two of the best tag team matches that you will see on any level, anywhere, no matter what, period, point blank. Now, tonight on SmackDown, we're going to get some Motor City Machine Guns. They're kind of the same way. Because of the Motor City Machine Guns is what we get that stuff from last night, too. And the Hardys, obviously. They're the gods of it. But, so yeah, great stuff on tag match. Keep that going. Also, new appearance last night. Welcome back, Mustafa Ali. He had that great run in WWE with NXT not long ago, got his release, and he has been grinding on the independent circuit. Did some great work with TNA earlier later in 24 and was really good. And then he's been booking independent dates. Actually, what's really awesome, I want to tell a little story. All right. It's been a month or so ago around Thanksgiving, and I was at a wrestling event, and I was riding an elevator in a hotel, and guy right next to me is Mustafa Ali. And a gentleman got on the elevator. Like, we get on the same floor. Another guy gets on another floor, and we're riding up. And the guy immediately, here I am. I'm just like, hey, how you doing, man? I don't want to get in wrestlers' faces. I struggle with that. I'm very awkward with it because it's their time. They don't come fuck with me when I'm teaching. So, it's one of those things, and it's tough. But I also know that interacting with fans is part of it. Anyway, I sat and talked to Mustafa Ali, a little bit here and there, small talk. And then a guy comes in, and he immediately just like gets in his face and like, hey man, I have this shop, and could you sign this, and could you do this? And I just shook my head. And the guy gets off the elevator, and I'm walking with Mustafa Ali, and I asked him, I said, man, I'm sorry to pry, but like how do you deal with shit like that? And we always hear about like stuff at the airports. I've had an interaction. I'm gonna tell that story one day. Ultimate Warrior, fuck you. Anyway, what we have here is me and him just talking, and I said, how do you feel about people, coming at you like that? And you know what he said? And it was so awesome and so down to earth. And he said, it's what I do. He goes, if if I can help you, why wouldn't I want to help you? Because somewhere down the line, you might be able to help me, even if it's just maybe getting one more fan or helping out with one more match or something like that. And it stuck out and it made a lot of sense to me. And I thought, damn, there's so many wrestlers out there that just like shun fans and like, not a lot, but there are some. And when I saw that aspect of Mustafa Ali, it was like, damn, he plays such a dick on TV, but he's really freaking cool. And he was. And that weekend, by the way, at his meet and greets, he was conversational, signed everything for every single person. So Mustafa Ali, welcome back to TNA. Glad to see you there. Also, if we get him in a freaking feud with Mike Santana, I have been talking about how good Mike Santana has been lately. If we can get Mustafa Ali with Mike Santana, I just freaking take my money now. Okay, because that will be absolutely wonderful. I'm here for it. So, main event. All right. Main event. Joe Hendry. I'll just go ahead and tell you, he beats Matt Cardona. It was a fantastic match. Like, the match was up and down great. Matt Cardona is a worker, man. If you don't appreciate stuff Matt Cardona does in the ring, you're crazy. Don't talk to me. And I loved him as Zack Ryder. Great. Too short of an IC run, if you ask me. Some of his tag work was good in WWE, but his single stuff he's doing right now is so good. And him and Hendry were great together. Short match. It didn't go above and beyond. We did get another appearance from JBL. JBL taking him out. This is going to get fun. I don't know if you know this. JBL has been appearing all over the place. He's appeared at New Japan. He's appeared at TNA. He's appeared at AAA. He's appeared at C-Mail. He's appeared at GCW. He's appeared at MLW. Like, the guy's everywhere right now. Something very big is happening in the world of wrestling with John Bradshaw Layfield. I feel like we're getting like forbidden door crap going on with everyone, and all these companies are joining up, and god dang, give it to me, please. 8-year-old Matt Brannon is freaking just having a great time thinking about the fact that, you mean Hulk Hogan could actually take on Magnum TA? Like, that's the kind of shit I talk about. So anyway, the Hendry match was good. The JBL stuff was good. Joe Hendry's going to have a run, folks. Joe Hendry's going to have a run. And let me be the first to say, Joe Hendry for Royal Rumble. Right there. Joe Hendry for Royal Rumble. Okay? More so than others, please. You know what I'm talking about. I don't want all the old people. All right? Give me more people. Give me more youngs. Now, guys, I want to quickly run down SmackDown for you. It's we don't have a lot on the show tonight. KO is going to be there. Cody is going to be there. No signing tonight. The signing is for tomorrow night, Saturday night's main event. Okay, with HBK. So no signing tonight, but they are going to appear. What do we have? We're going to get some Jay. We're going to get some Gunther. They're not scheduled to wrestle, obviously. Saturday night's main event. The two matches that we have right now for tonight are Motor City Machine Guns against Pretty Deadly. We're going to keep adding to that tag team friction that we got going right there. By the way, yes, boy. Let's go, Pretty Deadly. Let's go. Show people what you can do in the ring, right? Yes, boy. So we got that. The other match that we have scheduled right now is interesting to me. It's LA Knight versus Tama Tonga. That's fun. That could be fun. Let's see. I told you I liked last week how they kind of sparked LA Knight back. I was down on him a little bit, but getting him involved in that bloodline situation kind of gave him a little bit of a spark. And I like the fact that they're going to ride with that a little today. So that's great. Those are the only things we have on tap for tonight, guys, for SmackDown. We have those two matches. So overall, kind of a slow night on SmackDown because we have tonight, which is why I said earlier, tonight, SmackDown's going to be good. All right? We don't know what's going to happen. It's a mystery. I like it that way, guys. I like it that way. It's like watching WWE Superstars in 1988. But we're going to have some decent stuff. We know we're going to get some story links. But the bottom line is they are going to give us that next push towards tomorrow night, Saturday night's main event, guys. And I'll be going over all of that tomorrow on the Slow Burn Saturday Short. Can't wait to do that. Saturday night's main event is going to be an awesome, awesome night. Enjoy SmackDown tonight. And do me a favor, okay? Go watch those damn tag matches from TNA that I was talking about, all right? Go check those out if you can. And like I said, reach out to me. Let me know what you thought about Dynamite. Did you hate it as bad as I did? By the way, TNA was an A-. TNA was an A-. So there you go. Guys, great week of shows. We got a big weekend still ahead of us. Stay tuned. Saturday Short will happen tomorrow. We'll do our Sunday weekly recap on Sunday. We got a lot of stuff going on, so stay with us. Stay with us, okay? And always, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Reach out to me, Facebook me, message me, email me, whatever you can do, guys. You're part of this, so be part of it. And thank you very much for joining us. This has been the Slow Burn, folks. And remember, in this world, we're wrestling everything. Stay on top.